We'll see if anyone else joins us. Oh, look at that. A lot of people are on vacation this week, so I wasn't sure how many we get. Okay. So we are going to do things a little bit differently than we've been doing them in the Quick Monday kettlebell class. Still the same skills and everything, but just a bit different. So we are going to warm up and then we'll go briefly over the deadlift and the hike up to center that we've talked about before. And then we'll do a timed circuit. And then if you already know how to kettlebell swing, you can jump off and move on with your day. And if you need a little more work on it, we'll stick around for the end of class. I do have a call at 1 o'clock, so I do have to be gone by 1 o'clock. So we will get moving. Get out of my way, dog. Actually, this class ends at before 1 o'clock, doesn't it? Only 30 minutes. All right, so either way, we'll teach the kettlebell swing at the end. So we'll start with our regular warm up, our nice squat with the pry at the bottom. Just to forewarn you all, I do have a little bit of lower back pain going on. Let me get this dog out of the way. Do 5 of those squats and then the fire hydrant. Five of the squats and then down, hands and knees, opening up that hip 5 times on each side, and then give yourself a little child's pose stretch at the bottom and repeat. As I was saying, I'm struggling with a little bit of lower back pain. I threw my back out last week. So I'm still nursing that pain a bit. So I might not fully do the whole workout. But if I stop and I don't tell you to stop, make sure you keep going. And then when we're done with the fire hydrants, we'll move to the shoulder workout there. So it's a hip hinge slightly forward, pulling shoulder blades together, making a W with those arms. 10 of those. So we're going to do a little bit of a simplified class today because it is under a new title. So we do have some new people that joined. They're not all live right now, but I will post the recording. So I want them to be able to catch up with us. So to start off, I want you guys to grab your kettlebell or your weight, and we're going to practice the deadlift. If you guys already know how to do this and you want to just practice some swings and get the heart right up, you can go for it, or you can follow along for a refresher. So for our deadlift, you have a kettlebell. You're going to want to stand directly above that kettlebell and line the handle up with your ankles. If you have a regular weight, you're going to stand it on one end so the other end is facing up, and it'll also be kind of line up with your shin right there in the middle, right under your body. And you're gonna pull those hips back. Hopefully you've all watched the video on how to do this with the dowel and everything and practice that on your own. It does help to film yourself so you can see that straight line. Because if I'm not seeing you, that's the best practice, is to film yourself. So hips come back and knees slightly bend until you can reach the handle of that bell, and you pump the hips forward, stand tall, and come back. So we'll do a couple of those for practice. If you're feeling pain in your back, sorry, getting a spam call. If you're feeling pain in your back, it's probably because you're arching over, and you see how my spine is here as opposed to here. So you should feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings, and then drive up, squeeze the glutes here, and release back down. All right. That's the one skill we're going to need for today. The other skill is going to relate to that hinge. Now the bell is going to be right in front of your feet, and we're going to hike it up to hold it at our chest. This is an important skill moving on. Anytime you pick up the bell to be holding it at your chest, this is the way you're going to want to do it. Hips come back. I grab onto the top of this belt. I'm going to pop up. And as I pop up, my hands are going to come into my chest. So I pop up and I catch the bell here. So because of the momentum of the bell, I'm able to pull my hands around. And then I release back down. So as I release back down, I bring my hands over. And this whole time I'm hip hinging the same way I'm deadlifting. I'm never letting my back come into this arch position. And I'm never doing straight legs. Never locking out those knees. Always leaving them loose. Slight bend. All right. So just right in front of your toes. Hike up with the hips. So the hips driving forward is what's bringing this bell up. Okay. So give that a few practice tries, and then we will do our workout. So what we're going to do for this workout is 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. So we're going to do this. This is called a clean, what we just learned, hiking that bell up. So we're going to do cleans for 30 seconds. Then we'll put the bell down, and then you'll clean it back up, and we'll do lunges in that position here. So lunge, lunge. If you're more comfortable doing a walking lunge, go ahead, or a reverse lunge. You would step back. I'll probably do a reverse lunge, but if you guys like a forward lunge, up to you. Then we'll come back down the same way we came up, so nice and easy. And we'll do deadlifts for 30 seconds. If you want more of a challenge and you're confident in your swing, feel free to swing for 30 seconds as opposed to the deadlift. And that is 4 exercises. So then when we'll do this 4 times, and when we're done, if you have taken my class before and you know how to swing, cool yourself down with the breathing that we do, all of that, and I will continue on to teach the swing at the end. Alrighty? So, starting with the clean, dead clean in the center, not our other fancy one that we started learning. Dead clean in the center for 30 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So it's just right in front of your toes, and you're just popping up and releasing back down. I'll get a little closer so you can see the way my hands work around here. And it's my hips doing the work here. I'm not really pulling up with my hands, because if I was, I would get stuck here and I would feel it, a pull in my back, which, like I just said, I'm struggling with back pain, and I'm able to do this with no back pain because of my proper form and rest. So if you are feeling back pain at any point in this workout, it's because your form is off somewhere. And if that's the case, then you can reach out to me, maybe send me a video of you doing whatever you're doing. All right, 30 seconds of lunges. So hike up and lunge. Keep a nice tight core here. Don't let the bell rest on your chest. You're holding right in front as you lunge. Good, 30 seconds. And rest. So release down, nice hinge, straight back when you release down. Next up is the deadlift. Like I said, if you feel confident swinging, go ahead and swing for a little added challenge. Go ahead. So I'm reaching down between my legs, hiking up with the hips, and coming back down. Slight bend in the knees. And I forgot to teach the 4th exercise, I just realized, because I went out of order. Rest. All right, you're gonna grab your bell like this. If you have a regular dumbbell, you're gonna hold it on either side, and we're just gonna curl. So I'm gonna hold my bell like this, and I'm gonna curl up so that it's upside down in front of my chest and back down. Nice tight core. Try not to like do one of these. Slight bend in my knees. Nice straight back. Slow and controlled. It's not a race. We just want to complete 30 seconds worth of movement. And rest. All right. Safely put that bell back down. So from any angle that you're holding that bell, when you're putting it back down, you're always hip hinging forward to put it down. You never want to put it down to a side like this. That's going to really throw off your back. And you never want to just like slump over, because when you slump over with, I have 25 pounds. If I slump over with 25 pounds, that's 25 pounds pulling my back forward. All right. Let's get this again. Grab some water, grab a breath, and we'll get started. So we're starting with the clean again. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So just slightly in front of your toes, feet are hip width apart, and you hike up. And my head follows. So my eyes are down when I'm down. My eyes are straight ahead when I'm up. Good. Squeezing those glutes nice and tight at the top. And rest. Good work. All right, 15 seconds of rest, and then we'll hike it up and we'll lunge. 2, 1, and go ahead. So hike that bell up into place and lunge. Nice and controlled. Really focus on those knees going directly in line with the feet. With the added weight comes the need for a little more control. And rest. Good. So place that bell back down on the floor. Take a step away. After this, we're either deadlifting or swinging. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So I start directly above for a deadlift. I start a step back for my swing. And same thing, my eyes are down when my body's down, straight ahead when I'm up. And rest. All right. Last exercise of this round is the curl again. So like I said, you're starting holding, so you'll reach over your kettlebell to curl it up, and then the bottom of the bell will be up. If you have, go ahead. If you have a regular dumbbell, you're holding it on either side and curling here. Let that breath help you. So when I have a big push, big exhale on the pull up if my weight's a little heavy for me. And rest. Good work. All right, we're going to be doing this 2 more times. Grab some water if you need it. Okay. Catch your breath. If at any point one of these movements becomes too difficult with the weight that you have, like the lunge, for example, go ahead and drop the weight to the side if you need to. If that is the case for the deadlift, obviously just going like this isn't gonna do much for us, so just do some jumping jacks, get the heart rate up. But listen to your body, try and do as much as you can. I have a dog hair in my mouth, sorry. All right. Another round. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Starting with that clean. Right in front of my toes, I pop and I catch it. And then I fold back down. And rest. Good. All right. We have lunges. Go ahead. So hike up and lunge. These are the killer for me. And rest. Whew. All right. We're deadlifting or swinging next. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So for my deadlift, I'm starting directly above the bell. It's between my ankles. Almost done. And rest. All right. We're curling. Then we have one more round. And then we're done. It's a quick one today. So to leave room for learning. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So. Remember, if this gets too difficult, go ahead and switch to a jumping jack if you have a heavy weight. But make sure we're pushing ourselves and rest. All right, good work. Another quick water break, and then we have one more round. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sweating. Sometimes with kettlebells, I think it doesn't always feel like you're doing a lot of work until the next day, and then you realize your whole body's sore. And you're like, wait, I wasn't laying on the ground doing crunches. Like, are my abs sore? So if your abs are sore tomorrow, it's from holding your body straight for these curls. You don't notice that this little piece of equipment, it does it all. All right, last round. Starting with that clean. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. So clean it up. And this clean, this is gonna hit your legs and your arms. And if you're holding your form right, your abs as well. And rest. All right. After this, we have the lunge. The lunge is obviously hitting the legs, but with the weight held in here, we're gonna get a little chest, arm, ab action as well. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. Hike up, and then you're lunging. Nice and controlled. And rest. Good work. We're done with those lunges. 2 more exercises. Deadlift is up next. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. between going on vacation, being sick, and throwing out my back, I haven't used kettlebells in probably 2, maybe 3 weeks. So I'm feeling it. And rest. I did mostly body weight workout in the past 2 weeks. So it's nice to have some weight now. All right, curls. So last exercise, and then you're done. Go ahead. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead. Up. Almost done. 5 seconds left. You got it. Push it out. It's the last one. And rest. Safely put down that bell. Protect that back. All right. If you are not hanging around to learn the swing, thank you for joining us. Make sure you cool yourself down. Walk around a little bit. Do some breathing. Thank you. If you are staying for a little more learning or just a refresher, we'll get started in a minute. I'm gonna let my heart rate come down. We'll let yours come down a minute as well. All right. We're gonna do a crash course in swings. If you get to a point where you're feeling like the next step is too difficult, I want you to focus on the step before and do that on your own. And if you have questions, you can chat them to me or just yell them out. But I will be posting this to YouTube, but I'm spotlighted. Nobody can see you. I think I'm still spotlighted. Looks like it. All right, so the swing. Obviously, we went over the deadlift. It's the most important part of the swing because it is the hip hinge combined with that drive up that lifts the weight. So the hip hinge, remember, we're pulling the hips back. This is a hip hinge. This is a squat. If you can see, my waist kind of stays in one line as I hinge, but as I squat, my waist drops down. With my shirt, you can see it says exos. If I squat, you can read it the whole time. If I properly hinge with everything in line, you can no longer read my shirt, right? So these are things that you want to look for in yourself. If you're looking in the mirror, if you're recording yourself, okay? So that's a hip hinge. Now, you hip hinge down, grab on, and stand tall. So in no moment of this did I pull my arms up. You can see my arms stay straight the whole way, up and down. My arms are doing no work other than just holding on, okay? Just up and down. And in this, like I said, you should feel no back pain. All right? From here, from that deadlift, hold it at the bottom and feel your straight line here. Now I want you to take a step back and tip the bell towards you to create a long line with your arms, okay? So from my shoulder to the end of my kettlebell, I'll show you from the other side, will be one long straight line. So I hinge back. It's like somebody has a string attached to the back of my leggings and they're just pulling it, right? So pull back, I grab on, I tip. You see that nice straight line. Then I'm gonna hike back like I'm hiking a football and land directly in the same spot that I started it. Hike and land. I'm not doing anything crazy, just swinging my arms in just between the legs until kind of I touch right here on my thigh. That's my stopping point, and then I come back forward. And gravity is kind of gonna help me on that pendulum motion. So this we call hike pass, all right? From my hike pass, if I'm feeling pain on my back, that means that my hips are too far down and that I'm bending over, right? Do you see the difference in this and in this, okay? You should feel a nice pull in the hamstrings at the bottom. From my hike pass, I'm gonna do a single swing. So when I swing up, I'm driving my hips forward and my Arms are getting pushed off my hands, like so. You can even do this right now with your arms. Don't lift your arms, just let them kind of fly up. Let your hips kind of toss them in the air. All right. I have loose elbows because I'm not lifting anything, and they just kind of float back down. So when they hit back down, my hips go back down. When my hips come up, my arms pop off. All right. It's like Velcro on my legs. Arm is connected to the Velcro. When the Velcro connects, I'm good to go. When I come up, the Velcro disconnects. Okay. So one swing, hike back, pop up. No pulling with the hands. If you're pulling with your hands, you'll see your kettlebell droop. That means you didn't give enough hip thrust. So pop up, let the bell sink back down on its own timing. Don't pull it back. It's going to sink back down between your legs again, and then you'll land the way you were landing with the hike pass. So I'll show you. Ready? It's one, pop, back, down. All right, go ahead. One, pop, back, down. Hike, pop up, hike back, land. And you want to be landing in the same spot every time, because if you're landing out in front of you, that's pulling yourself forward like this. That's where you're going to get a bit of back pain. All right. Good. And then from there, so if you don't feel ready to progress from there, just stick with that single swing or with that single hike pass until you feel confident enough to move on. If you're ready to move on here, this is when we continue the swing. So instead of hiking back and landing, you'll hike back and pop again. And pop and pop. But when you're done, don't just drop that bell into the ground on your last swing. You go back and you land nicely the same way we do in that beginning step of the hike pass. So your bell, when you land, always comes back between your legs before it lands in the ground. You never just dead stop standing. You never just dead stop it into the ground. Always hike back to land, because that's what's going to protect our backs. All right. So go ahead. Bell is about 1 foot length in front of you. All right. You're hinging back, creating that long line through the edge of the bell. Hike back and pop. Hike back and pop. And if you see, my bell kind of floats there at the top. It comes up a little, my arms sit down. It never comes higher than my chest. If it's coming higher than my chest, that's because I'm using my arms. We don't want my arms really doing any work here. If it's drooping, that's because I'm using my arms. All right, we want a nice long line from the shoulder to the edge of the bell, and then we land. All right, I see some good swinging happening. I'm going to re-demonstrate really quickly for you to see a bad swing and a good swing, okay? So my bad swing, I'm going to be squatting down. My back is arched. I kind of barely swing back, and I just pull up. So you see my elbows flare, the bell droops, my back is bent. I'm gonna pay for that later. My back's gonna hurt, okay? The good swing, everything is straight line, straight line. All right. And I should feel no pain. The most I feel is a nice good stretch in my hamstring. All right. Let's stretch you out real quick if you're still following along. Let's do some arm swings and some deep breaths. All right. If you need to go, it is 12:45. You can hop off if you have something else going on, but we're going to cool down for a few minutes here. I'm going to swing my arm up and back down, just stretching it out a little. They might be a little sore tomorrow, our arms, from what we did today. All right, we're going to stretch out the back. So on our knees, we're going to reach far out in front and pull our hips down and away into a child's pose. And a nice long extension of that spine. Really stretching it out with deep breaths. each deep breath you take, try and sink deeper, deeper, deeper into this stretch, all right? All right, and then if you want to switch to sit on your bottom, we'll stretch out those hamstrings a little. So my one leg's gonna come in, my other leg's gonna come out. This is gonna be a nice stretch for our back as well. We're gonna reach it over towards that opposite foot. So you should feel this in the back of your leg here and in your back on the side there. Again, with each deep breath you take, a little deeper into that stretch. When you feel ready, like you've stretched far enough, go ahead and switch the leg. And we're going to do the same thing. So the more forward you sit with your hips, the deeper that stretch is going to be in the hamstring. And then we're leading to the side. Deep breaths. Into the nose, out to the mouth. All right. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, please email me. Again, send me videos if you want me to critique you, if you chose not to